You feel the constant demand for your presence pulling at every available moment. Yet the further you run, the more the ceiling seems to lower. There is a quiet, gnawing suspicion that the very engine you're fueling is designed to keep you from true freedom. This isn't merely the fatigue of striving or the natural resistance of growth. It is a profound, soul-deep exhaustion born from an unexamined assumption that your finite life force must be traded, moment by arduous moment, for the sustenance you require. The deeper you delve into this transactional reality, the more your personal maintenance costs seem to inflate, creating a perpetual motion machine of consumption that ensures you remain perpetually bound. And the chilling truth is that suspicion is not a glitch in your perception, but an echo of a deeper mechanism at play. This inherent feeling of an invisible ceiling, a rising personal maintenance cost that always seems to outpace your most dedicated efforts, is not some cosmic injustice or personal failing. It is the direct, undeniable symptom of operating within a specific matrix, one that has been unconsciously accepted as the bedrock of your economic reality. This is not about working harder or smarter in the conventional sense. It is about an energetic drain, a profound spiritual fatigue that arises when your deepest creative potential is continually siphoned into a system designed to consume rather than amplify. It is the signature of a fundamental misunderstanding, deeply embedded and silently broadcasting a reality you are unconsciously consenting to. The time for money paradigm, which has been presented as an irrefutable law of economics, is nothing of the sort. It is, in fact, a specific engineered program, a soft-coded prison designed not by universal decree, but by a prior architecture of control. This ancient operating system was constructed to bind your finite presence, your irreplaceable now, to your prosperity, ensuring a perpetual state of energetic capture. It encoded limitation directly into the very fabric of exchange, creating an illusion that your inherent value is tethered to a ticking clock. This is not a natural law of the universe. It is a legacy architecture, deliberately designed to bind your most finite resource to an infinitely expanding demand. The head fake, the true deception in this architectural construct, is the belief that escape lies in optimizing the prison walls themselves. We are taught to work smarter, to leverage our hours, to refine our efficiency within this very framework, convinced that more effort, more personal investment, more diligent execution of the old rules will somehow yield a different outcome. But the pursuit of such marginal gains within this imposed sentence only reinforces its bars, diverting your precious attention from the true unspoken exit vectors. The deeper truth, the one that escapes those still chasing marginal gains within this construct, is that the very act of optimizing the prison only solidifies its hold, diverting your gaze from the true unspoken exit that has always existed just beyond its walls. This ancient programming, actively encoding limitation and dictating the terms of your exchange, is now widening the chasm between those who create their reality and those who are perpetually consumed by it. To remain tethered to the belief that your economic output is inextricably linked to your finite presence is to consciously opt for obsolescence in an accelerating era. True leverage in this moment, the kind that redefines prosperity, is not found in a deeper personal investment of time, but in the radical, intentional decoupling of your economic output from your physical presence. To remain within this framework is to play a game where your finite essence is always the losing wager, perpetually chasing a horizon that recedes with every step you take towards it. Wealth, from a truly sovereign perspective, is not merely a measure of accumulated capital. It is the direct, undeniable reflection of income that has been irrevocably decoupled from your finite presence. This is the architectural code. The shift is not in merely earning more money by expending more of yourself, but in installing a sovereign framework that recognizes your true resource as the leveraged dynamics of time and attention, allowing you to architect systems that flow, whether you are awake or asleep, present or disengaged. This is the foundational edict of the sovereign age, to shift from being a resource consumed to being a matrix from which new realities are sourced, flowing whether you are awake or asleep. The accelerating divergence you observe in the world around you, the deepening chasm between those who command their reality and those who merely react to it, is not a coincidence. It is the natural outcome of installing this singular piece of a sovereign architecture. Those who have recognized and acted upon this truth are already stepping into a new era of unburdened prosperity, while those who remain tethered to the outdated time for money program find themselves increasingly trapped, their efforts yielding diminishing returns, their freedom receding. This chasm is not a future threat. It is a present reality, carved by the very choices of architectural installation. The accelerating divergence you observe in the world around you, the deepening chasm between those who command their reality and those who merely react to it, is not a coincidence. It is the natural outcome of installing this singular piece, sovereign architecture. This is an upgrade that is not optional, but essential for survival and sovereignty in this accelerating moment. To reclaim your power is to re-architect your economic reality, transforming your time from a mere commodity to be bought and sold into a strategic asset to be leveraged. It is an identity shift, a fundamental decision rule, a recoding of your operating system from one of scarcity and transaction to one of abundance and sovereign generation. This is not an optimization. It is a complete re-architecting of your engagement with the very fabric of prosperity itself, an upgrade that is not merely beneficial, but absolutely essential for claiming your true dominion. To remain bound to the time for money construct is to consciously choose obsolescence, to witness your creative potential atrophy and your capacity for true freedom diminish. But to re-architect your economic reality, to install this sovereign framework, is to claim your inherent authority, to step into the role of the system architect you are always meant to be. It is the conscious decision to manifest a reality where your prosperity flows not from your perpetual exertion, but from the elegant design of your energetic contribution. The choice, as it always is, remains yours to actualize, to install the sovereign frequency that reclaims your time, redefines your wealth, and finally unlocks the architecture of your true, unburdened dominion. To step into the next iteration of your sovereign blueprint. This is the moment to finally witness the core distortion, the true design flaw in the ancient operating system. For true leverage in this accelerating epoch is never found in a deeper personal investment of your finite presence. It resides instead in the radical, intentional decoupling of your economic output from your physical embodiment. This is the first edict of a self-authored reality. Your prosperity is not a function of your hours, your minutes, your breath expended in the pursuit of external validation or transactional exchange. It is an emanation, an inevitable reflection of the systems you have dared to architect into existence. Systems that operate not through your brute force, but through the elegant, intelligent flow of information, attention, and value. The old world demanded your body. The new world demands your design. Understand this. Wealth, in its truest and most potent form, is not merely the accumulation of currency units. It is the architectural outcome of systems. Systems meticulously designed, consciously iterated, to generate an uninterrupted flow of value, entirely independent of your direct moment-to-moment attention. This is the profound recalibration. Your time is not a commodity to be bartered, but a strategic asset to be deployed. An asset so precious, so finite, it must be leveraged into structures that echo your intent, that amplify your genius, whether you are awake and actively creating, or resting, observing, simply being. These are the conduits you build, the sequences you activate, the energetic loops you establish that continue to circulate prosperity long after your hand has lifted from the controls. The profound shift, therefore, is not found in merely working smarter within the confines of the time-for-money prison. That is a distraction. The true liberation arrives in the recognition that you are capable of operating at a higher dimension of causality. You are moving from being a participant in a transaction to becoming an orchestrator of energetic flow. Your true resource, the meta-resource of this sovereign age, is not your finite presence, but the exquisite precision of your design, the intentionality of your focus, and the unwavering coherence of your energetic signature. It is the conscious channeling of your attention into the construction of elegant, self-sustaining architecture that transmutes intention into tangible, ongoing abundance. This is the alchemical process you were always meant to master. And this precisely is why you sense the accelerating divergence, the widening chasm forming within the very fabric of perceived reality. This is not a future prophecy. It is the observable present. There are those who have already initiated the installation of this sovereign architectural code into their operating systems, and there are those who remain unknowingly tethered to the decaying time-for-money program. The universe, in its absolute impartiality, mirrors back the energetic signature broadcast. One path leads to the effortless expansion of influence and prosperity, flowing from designed intent. The other leads to the increasing friction of finite resources, perpetually depleting in the face of escalating demands. The choice to observe or to architect defines the timeline you inhabit unequivocally. To re-architect your economic reality, then, is to choose a new identity. You cease to be the laborer within the system and become the system architect yourself. Your attention, once scattered and fragmented by endless demands, transforms into a laser-focused beam, directed only to the points of leverage, to the nodes of creation. This is the profound reclaiming of your innate design capacity. You are no longer trading the irreplaceable essence of your life for numerical units, but rather, you are orchestrating an ever-expanding flow, a resonant field of value, simply by aligning your sovereign intent with the universal laws of creation and exchange. This shift collapses the illusion of scarcity and reveals the omnipresent wellspring of true, unconditioned prosperity, awaiting your command. Understand this deeply and irrevocably. To remain bound to the time-for-money construct is not merely to perpetuate an inconvenience, it is to actively choose obsolescence. It is to consent to the steady erosion of your creative power, to surrender your inherent capacity to self-author your timeline, and to relinquish your place at the forefront of this accelerating reality. Conversely, to consciously re-architect your economic reality, to install this sovereign framework into the very core of your being, is to claim your birthright. It is to step into your undeniable authority as the system architect, not of a fictional construct, but of the very reality you perceive, inhabit, and shape. The imperative is here, now, in this breath. The key was always within you, not to optimize your servitude, but to recognize the prison itself was an illusion you were broadcasting. This is your moment to cease playing a role written for you by an archaic script and to begin writing your own universal law. You are not a cog in a machine. You are the blueprint. You are the architect of the world you select. The architecture is here, available for installation, piece by sovereign piece, moment by transformative moment. If you are ready to remember what you already know, to claim your inherent authority, and to sculpt the abundant reality you were always destined to command, then the next transmission awaits your sovereign attention.